quiet. Jeremy's going to be super distracted right now, probably, but I don't know that we'll have a time to test this ahead of the meeting. But when we worked it yesterday, um,
You don't need to see my face, right? You can just hear me. You don't want to see my face. Somebody let me know you can hear me. Hello, hello. There you go.
I understand.
Hello, Ray.
I did take one yesterday. I should have taken one yesterday.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I got 6:30. I'll call the meeting to order. It's family pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So it's like, what's that about 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's actually pretty sad.
Yeah, 'cause we-
Let these folks sit down. Jairus, you want to, would you like to start us out?
Sure.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for giving us safety on the roads here. I thank you for health and strength that we could be here. Thank you for all the people of Antrim County. Pray that it be well with them. Pray that you be with the elderly. Keep them safe as they get out and about on the snow and ice. Pray that you would be with those at Meadowbrook. Pray that you would help them to have joy in their later years to serve you there. Pray that you would give us wisdom in our meeting this evening. I pray that you would give us all a safe trip back home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Jairus. Vicky, roll call for us, please.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Here.
Commissioner Rubin,
Here.
Commissioner Hellwig,
Here.
Commissioner Scola. Here. Commissioner Heffernan.
Here, thank you. Public comment tonight. Public comment, ask 3 minutes. Jeremy will be kind enough to monitor the clock for us if people need that much time. So go ahead, Matt.
I wanted to introduce myself to everybody formally. I'm Annette Markle. I'm chief deputy clerk. My husband and I have lived here since 2003 in Antrim County. We love it. It's a vacation. Had to find a career. We sold our store, and I have a vast background in administration and business
Counting, so it was a good fit, and I'm really enjoying working here. The girls, Missy and Mickey, have been great with helping us make the transition. Vicky has made some changes that are improving our accuracy and making our jobs easier, which is kind of a passion for me. Because I like to have things very orderly. And so we've been streamlining some of the processes downstairs. We added credit cards, which is a godsend for so many people. So it's been a great transition, and I just want to say who I was, and because everybody's like, who's Annette? And my husband is a former commissioner for Antrim, so.
Thanks for,
Thank
welcome
you.
to Antrim County, and thanks for taking the time. What else? Your name and township would be real helpful for the record if you wouldn't mind, just so your comments can be credited to you. So,
I can do that. Bill Drenzy, Echo Township. I think most of you know where that's at. I came here this evening, I wanted to speak just briefly on the proposal of the new jail or safety center that you're gonna end up putting on it. And I used some numbers that was made available to me last week, and then this week I found out the numbers have changed. and what you're talking about in financing and stuff, but I'm gonna give you the same thing, you can put the numbers in where they probably belong. Anyway, I'll be commenting on the new jail and the proposal. I'm having a hard time understanding why the rush. It seems like a rush to me anyway. The Antrim County taxpayers further in debt within the county. And the numbers that I had last week that I quickly on was total cost was looking at property $43 million for the entire project over 30 years. Which that breaks down to me anyway, for 30 years, you're probably looking close to $1.5 million per payment a year, I think. And we're still paying, the way I understand, talk to the Treasury Department, and we're still paying on Meadowbrook. And that, what they told me was $5,750,000. And that's supposed to be paid off by year 2030, another 5 years. And the way it looks like to me, $1 million plus for annual payments on that. So you put the two together in that ballpark, comes to for the next 5 years, almost or probably over $3 million. I don't know. That's a big number for me. It's a number that I don't talk about frequently anyway. And I'm sure you board. Anyway. I'd like to see commissioners, whoever works with you on talking numbers. I'm sure Jeremy does too, works with you. I'd like to see you sharpen your pencil, sit down together, put your common sense thinking caps on, and discuss this further. I stopped and thought while I was thinking about this, and changing officials in Washington here shortly. And I would like to see us think a little bit about not jumping into it this year. Well, maybe waiting a year or so, see where the economy's at, and then possibly make a decision. Within our county, there's still an awful lot of people here that work on the check, just payday, just to make ends meet, if they're making ends meet. But then again, I pick up the Antrim County News and I read in there in the last month or so, the delinquent taxes. 6 to 10 pages of people that can't even afford to pay their taxes today. And you say you don't have to raise their taxes. Oh,
Pardon me, Bill, we're at 3 minutes, so if you could wrap it up, I'd appreciate it.
I'll do it, but, then, that period of time, I think you can come up with a little better deal myself, anyway.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for watching the time, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Hello, Scott Koger, Jordan Township. While we're on that subject of the Public Safety Center, sorry it was a little hard to hear you. I believe one of your comments was there was a rush to this. This has been going on for,
Scott, ask you to direct your comment
Yeah.
to me, okay?
oh yeah, this is
That's
not,
what-
I'm just, well, it's
Yep.
helpful to him.
Yep.
Just, I'd recommend anyone that still has any questions, go to the website. This has been worked on for years and years and years. And if you follow the meetings, you guys have talked about it and worked on it and you're crunching the numbers. Jeremy and Brad are, going to great lengths to make this work. Unfortunately, it didn't pass. That would have been our best scenario. So yeah, there's nothing new, nothing rushed on this. I encourage everyone to look up facts and information. Go to the Antrim County website. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Christian.
Good evening, gentlemen
Hi,
and
Christian.
ladies. I had no intentions to speak today. I didn't even know it was on the agenda until I asked, why are you guys out here? I'm just here to support my wife. Christian Marcus from Star Township. First, I just want to open up that I appreciate my participation and invite from this board for sitting on that committee to explore the options regarding the facilities for the jail. And moving forward, I want to remind everybody that there's not just the 5 of you. There's been probably 12 different commissioners that have been bouncing this back and forth and discussing it to great lengths over the last 8 years, I think, since we started talking about it. So this definitely isn't rushed. It has been painstakingly discussed, talked about, researched. We've toured facilities, we toured in different counties, we've toured our own facility. You guys tried to present a millage to people as an insurance policy. It didn't work, but you still have the ability to do it. And I think you should. I think spending the money where it should be done prevents you from spending the money where you're not supposed to be spending the money. And I think it's a smart move. There's a lot of waste that goes on and unnecessary. And I think this will force you to stay focused on what needs to be done. This jail needs to be rebuilt. The facilities need to be built, and all the work from all the participants that joined on that committee had a lot of great ideas. How to not only fund it, but also bring in revenue from neighboring counties that need our assistance. There are ways. There's help, the mental health board. There's ways to help fund this facility. I think it's a great need to our county, and I think you still have the ability to make it get done this year. When you go to the budget, make sure you get it done this year, and you don't need to ask the taxpayers for the money right now. You can worry about that later as something else needs to be going on, a supplement. But I think you said you could do it. If you said you can do it, then do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, John.
I just would like to address, Bill, is our country under a bankruptcy of 1933 still? Is it? We're still under the bankruptcy of 1933. And there's a thing called the Federal Register. And every agency and every satellite connected to it has to file their intent in the Federal Registry. None of these health departments do. They have to get their authority from there. We had Lisa Peacock make children wear masks. For a whole school year, she had no authority. So I think Mr. Hellwig's going to be on the board. You might want to pick up the vaccine safety manual and read about the toxic stuff that's being put in these children. It's causing autism, cancer, many things that shouldn't be in our children. They get 70 shots before they're 2. Where's the science in that? Where's the science in the mask? It's good as my pants blocking, but they're useless. Until I saw you wear a mask during this thing. Fauci gets money from all this, and the county is subsidizing these shots to these children that don't need them to go to school. Ken Kowalski at a school board meeting in 90s told me it was tired of funding that pays Fauci and anybody who has patents on these shots lots of money. So I think that it has to be exposed that these agencies all have to publish in the Federal Register. That was established by Roosevelt in 1936, and it has all of the regulations and rules that these agencies do not follow. So our county should have liability for any damage that these shots are affecting these children with. And autism is 1 in 30 and even worse. And most of it's caused by the toxicity of these shots. So hopefully you'll address their authority and haven't followed there. And then also our role, speaking of old state needs money. And also my subdivision was wrecked by the road commission on Cedar Meadows. And there's a second set of books called the CAFR, CAFR. It's a second set of books where there's a budget that we take all the extra money and we invest it. So how much is in our CAFR account? How much is in that second set of books? And why do people don't know about the second set of books? That was established by the federal government in the 40s, and they have 51% of all the CAFRs. And every school, municipality, they all have to have these second set of books. And that's where it's off budget, and you just have to have that exposed, and people have to go into it. And it's very easy to just look it up, the CAFR accounts, and definitely think about challenging these people with these shots that they're giving these parents that can't afford them, for one thing. And that's why they're coming here. They're free, but the county pays for them. And so there's liability there, I think, for any damage that they cause.
Thank you, John.
And thank you. You're welcome.
From Helena Township. The people said no to this in November. And they said no to a millage. But they also said no to spending 30+ million that we didn't have. So a question to the board is, how are we gonna pay this back? Out of the budget? One year at a time. I'll check with the guys that I know a little bit better later to get a real answer. I heard the numbers at one of these meetings. I came to the meeting, I don't know, December. And I think the number was $1,000 a square foot. Somewhere 30,000 square feet, 30 million, 40 million, that it's north of $1,000 a square foot. I'm still a part owner of a building in Ann Arbor. It's 30,000 square feet and is valued at 2 million. No, it's not a jail. No jail. It's not all this high tech stuff. But I have a really hard time figuring out how do we get to $1,000 a square foot. Other than the fact, if you listen to Milton Friedman, when you're spending other people's money on other people, there's no incentive to be efficient with it. Also, I have a very, very close relative who retired as a deputy director for the Department of Corrections. He meant a lot to me. I listened to everything he ever told me. I retired about 10, 12 years ago. And there was nothing he ever spoke about that said if you build beautiful facilities for people who are in trouble, that it'll fix them. It starts with the parents. If you don't got good parents, you're on the wrong track right from the get-go. And I don't know how spending $1,000 plus per square foot on a facility will fix that. And I'm not saying I don't want a better project. I'm not saying I don't want any project, and I'm not saying I don't want a better facility. But you got to take a really good look at how much money we're spending. Growing up in Ann Arbor, I watched my taxes go from $900 when I first bought my house to $3,600 when I left. My taxes have doubled since I've been here, 20 years. Where does it stop? And I do want to know how it's going to get paid back. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's
Jeremy, is there anybody, because of our elevator situation, we afforded people the opportunity to comment from the lower level today as well, because obviously our elevator is being replaced. Anyone on the lower level? Okay, one last time, any further public comment?
Yeah. My name is Dan Bean. Was sheriff for many years, most of you know. I had no intention, like the retired commissioner, I had no intention of talking. I just want to see what's going on. But as I hear people talk, is my understanding, this has been kicked down the road a lot more than 8 years. This is a 25-year kick in the can. The jail's been pieced together for the last 30, 40 years. I was around through 2 of the renovations they did. They just keep putting a Band-Aid on a problem. This isn't just about the jail. This is about efficiency for the sheriff's office. They're still spread out, excuse me. They're still spread out. And the efficiency of walking back and forth and trying to get the people in the jail, the sergeant over there to talk to the sheriff and go to the evidence room and all this stuff that's going on has to be brought together somewhere along the line. It was my understanding that the board had the money to put this jail up. It was my understanding that the bond or millage or whatever you want to call it that we were looking at was more of a safety net. That if something were to go wrong, like they had up at the road commission in Central Lake, where they had a problem with the floor and it cost you more money to fix it. That was partly what this bond or millage is going to be about. So I just think it needs to be looked at, needs to be done. And if I have those numbers wrong, somebody correct me. The other thing is on the voters. I just want to throw this out there. There was some odd that had voted straight ticket, is my understanding, and never turned the ballot over to even vote on it. Now, anybody logical would say you could get 233 votes out of 1,600 and something voters. If people had paid attention to their ballots, turned them over and voted on it. So my opinion, this would have passed. And we wouldn't be here today with it. So with that, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. Hello, Tristan.
Hi, Tristan Coe, Chestonia Township. I was on the committee looking over the numbers and watching the presentations of what the county can do at the Public Safety Center. Just like I said, I'm fully supportive of that because I don't want to see the can kicked down the road any longer than it has been for the last 20 years. Because if we kick it continuously down the road next year, it's going to cost my kids and my grandkids more money. This is something that will tie up our tax dollars that are currently being collected. Instead of growing government, it's going to help fund a constitutionally mandated piece of infrastructure that will serve for the next 50, 60, 70 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, one last call. I got two guys with the last call. I'll get one last call. Okay. Public comment for now. Moving on, sheriff's report was sent separately to us. Kevin, any comments you want to make? Thank you. Regards to the agenda tonight, I was informed, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, that under 9I should be removed from our agenda. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. Any other changes to the agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented or as amended.
Thank you. Second.
I'll support.
Moving second. And any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Minutes, approval of minutes. First of all, December 19 minutes. I get a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Have a
I'll
second.
support.
You moved and seconded. Any discussion? Further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? January 2nd, minutes, January 2nd, 2025 minutes. I get a motion to approve those.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll support.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Liaison or committee reports? Ferris?
Yeah, North Country Community Mental Health met today and still looking at some funding shortfalls. I think I mentioned before. They did get some money from the state, but there's 5 mental health groups in the Northern Michigan regional entity, and 4 of them are running deficits at this time.
Thank you. Anything else? Terry?
I was at NLEA this morning and they are financially in 10 times better shape than they were a year ago. There was a lot of things that was discussed and there'll be a lot of things happening this year. The tentative date for the NLEA symposium at Boyne Mountain is May 9th. There'll be more information on that when it gets closer. It is a good learning experience and there is a lot of good speakers that come and speak at that about business in Northern Michigan. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Terry and I went to the health board meeting yesterday. It's more organizational. I was introduced to. So I look forward to sitting on the board. So.
Thank you. Well. Okay, moving on. Under old unfinished business, Public Safety Center. For comments about tonight. Okay, already in our packet, Jeremy has put a memo together for us, which indicates discussion, Public Safety Center. So that's where we'll start. Any commissioner wish to start us out on the discussion? Jason?
Like Tristan and a couple others said up on public comment, we've been talking about this for a lot longer than I've been on the board. I've been here 7-ish, 8, I don't know how many years they run into each other. But it was kicked down the road before I got here. And we could never, you know, come to a consensus on what we wanted to do or how we wanted to spend money or anything else. And it was just the jail, it was a lot of things. You know, now, you know, we have a finance professional on our staff who helps us, you know, be fiscally responsible. And, you know, if he says we can do it, you know, the way we are right now, I think we can do it. It's something that needs to be done. It's not about fixing people or anything like that. It's, you know, about safety. It's about efficiency, you know, not only safety for the prisoners, but safety for our employees. And we are bound to, you know, it's our job, to make sure we're fiscally responsible and the safety of our constituents and our employees. That's our main objective. We don't do much else. That's what we have to make sure we're trying our best to do. And I think with this, you know, the bond or the millage, whatever you wanted to call it. You know, I think that was our safety net, yes, and we weren't even gonna have to, we weren't planning on even levying anything for years to come. So, you know, I know I was a proponent of getting the vote, but when we have a plan and our, you know, finance guru says we can do it and not affect our day-to-day, you know, I think we'll be all right. So I'm in support.
Thank you.
Any comments? What, Chris?
Yeah, I think some of the correspondence that I've had from constituents is there's some of them that are still opposed to it, but a lot of them are concerned about how much interest we're gonna pay. And 30 years, the amount of interest, $6 million or more that we could save by lowering it to 20 years. Interest money is money that's gone. There's nothing you can do with it once it's spent. Think what we could do with roads, $6 million in Antrim County. That's good.
Thank you. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, you know, when we received this on Tuesday evening, the change as far as instead of a USDA to open market bond. You know, I'm looking at the interest also. I'm not opposed to a public safety center at all. I am opposed to a 30-year loan. And there's a couple of reasons being, first of all, just so we know the numbers, if we went with a 20-year loan, we're gonna borrow $25.5 million. The interest on that $25.5 million after 20 years is gonna be $12.5 million. It's a lot of money, definitely. If we go to a 30-year, borrowing $25.5 million, over 30 years, we're gonna pay $22 million. That's I mean, that's almost the amount of the loan that we're asking for. My concern is that none of us sitting at these chairs are gonna be here in 30 years. None of us are. And to put the next 5 or 6 boards in this situation for an additional 10 years. I can't support that. I can't wrap my head around that. Because it's a lot of money. It is a need. Plus another thing too, as I forgot to say, so the interest rate for 20 years is 4%, and for 30 years, it's 4.5%. So the interest rate goes up too. I wish, I'm telling you right now, I just wish we could make 20 years work for the taxpayers of Antrim County. That's really my concern. It really is, you know? And like I said, I just think it's really, really unfair to future boards for us to go with a 30-year bond. Thank you.
Thanks. I'd like to ask a question of the board members and you know, obviously don't have to say anything. But just hearing the comments that you made, and I appreciate it. Is there any one of us that doesn't believe we need to build a public safety center?
There's no question we have to. Yeah.
So I'd just like to let that sink in for everybody, for a couple of seconds. By my calculations, that that elephant in the room over there in the corner. He's been there for, by my calculations, since 1992. So I know Christian said maybe 12 years or 12 commissioners, way more than that. And he just keeps getting bigger. In 2006, we know this was an $8 million project. We have documentation for that. Now we're looking at a $33.5 million project. Wonderful boards, wonderful people have sat here for years. Good intentioned people. I really believe, looking back, that we've been looking for, the board's been looking for a perfect plan for all these years. And there is no perfect plan. There's always going to be risks. There's always, and because we keep looking for perfection, we don't do anything. And Ray, I hear you loud and clear. It's a ton of money. We are making a decision that future boards are going to have to live with, potentially. What I'd say though is I look and I go, that board in 2006 didn't make a decision that we've had to live. I'll be right with you, Jason. No problem. This is undoubtedly the most consequential financial vote that Antrim County Board has taken since 1990. When the board was faced with demolishing or restoring the courthouse. And that was $2.2 million back then. Somebody asked me, I remember somebody asked me, "Oh, Bill, aren't you scared that something's going to go wrong?" I'm not scared. I'm terrified. If we aren't terrified, then there's something wrong with us. But you know, I can't legislate. I don't think people should legislate. People who are elected like ourselves, out of fear. We're elected, I think, to make decisions. And those are my comments. Thanks, Jason. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as like Mr. Scholar, Commissioner Scholar, you know, I was part of the boards that didn't do things for a lot of years there. We hemmed and hawed on repairing this building. And we've had to make some tough decisions the last couple of years on repairing this, and it wasn't popular. But when we said it, I've said it before, we're setting a precedent that we're taking care of the county and we're setting the county up for the future. Those previous boards, I'm sure they didn't think, oh, we're gonna screw over somebody else down the line, but we had to make those tough decisions. This is a tough decision no matter what. I don't take lightly spending all this money. I really don't. I live in Mansalona. I'm a part of the community. You know, my wife's a teacher. We're embedded in Mansalona. And I know the good and the bad of Mansalona as far as when we were doing good, when we were doing bad over there, you know, financially and, you know, economically and everything else. But we have, you know, we're forced to make these decisions. And if we kick the can down the road, like you said, what was it, 8.2 million before? And we're up to this now. And what did we say? Approximately every year we wait, what's it gonna add?
$1 million to $1.5 million.
$1 million, $1.5 million, and then you add the interest all the way at the end. So we're gonna keep adding and adding and adding. We have to make a decision. And I know it's not a popular one of some people, but that's, you know, we're elected and we have to make. Most of the time, they're not too hard of decisions because you're doing what's right. And I think this is what's right anyway. But I mean, some people don't view it as that way, but because we're playing with their money. We're always playing with their money, our money, I should say, because I live here, so do you. But it's a tough decision, but we have to do it. I mean, it's not about fixing people, it's about safety and it's about protecting our constituents and the people who go to jail here, most of them are constituents, are they not? So it's about taking care of them too, whether they're in trouble or not. Can't fault, you can't put somebody in a dangerous situation. And you can't put our employees in dangerous situations. So, I can ramble all night, so I'm gonna stop now.
We got all
Yeah,
that long.
that's-
This is
that's-
huge. This is a huge decision.
It
We got
is.
all-
A gigantic decision.
It is.
I wanted to also address the 20 year. I'd love to do a 20-year. Jeremy, my question to you is if we were to do a 20-year, would we have to immediately lay off staff?
2026, we would have to identify those to look safely make.
I can't penalize, I can't vote to penalize staff for you understand when I say I'm talking about the prior board, our indecision. And that's where I run into a wall with the 20, is to tell a kid, we just hired a kid named Eric, I see on our, tell Eric, oh, sorry. Right? Because we didn't do anything, you're out of here. That's not fair. And so that's why I just can't get myself to 20 years. Terry.
I've actually, Bill and I had a conversation about the difference in years on the loans. And there's between a 25 and a 30-year, there's $100,000 a year difference, plus or minus a couple of dollars. But if we set money aside like we did this year, there'll be a surplus that goes into that building fund. I'm gonna use a round number, let's say $1.5 million. And next year we have to make a payment on that, 541,000. So if we have that $1.5 million come in again, that'll give us $2.5 million in that fund to offset that extra $100,000 it would cost us to do a 25-year plan instead of a 30, which would reduce our interest down. If everything stays good, we could take and stack more of that money away, and in 10 years, when there's a call out, we could pay down on that like we did it, like Meadowbrook did, and reduce our interest even further and possibly get it to be paid off in less than 20 years instead of the full 25. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion to direct the county administrator and the finance director to proceed with financing option applications, requests for proposals for the Antrim County Public Safety Center, which will include at the minimum the following: up to 56-bed facility, 911 dispatch center, county sheriff's administrative office, patrol, emergency management, investigation facilities, and to set the project's budget at an amount not to exceed 33.5 million, with not less than 8.5 million coming from existing county funds, and the remainder of the funding to come through municipal bonding for a period not to exceed 25 years.
Is there a second?
I'll support.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Cheers.
Yeah, Jeremy, you indicated that we'd have to lay people off at a 20-year. We set $1.8 million aside in our budget this year. And the annual payment for a 20-year is approximately 1.8 million. Right, roughly.
The estimated payment is 1.875, we put 1.8 away, Brad can tell you better than I can. We put 1.8 million away because we're drawing down forestry. We're drawing down ACT this year. There's something else.
Forestry, ACT, airport is still below normal. But yeah, so there are a few things out there that are temporary savings, but yeah.
So there were some special circumstances this year that you guys wanted to draw down some funds. We can't count on that next year. I would have to advise this board that we're gonna be fiscally responsible. We would need to eliminate the decision. And
How many?
3 to 5 minimum.
And just. I think 3 to 5 positions, if that's what it came to. I think there's other things that could be cut in the budget before we did that, but if it came to that. Approximately $4 to $5 million savings in interest would be well worth it. So that's just where it was.
Other comments? Right. A question for Jeremy. If we went with 25 years, you're saying there would be, you wouldn't have to make any cuts? So.
I'm necessarily gonna say that. I would say that, at this point, I wouldn't feel it necessary to cut positions for 2026. At 25 years, we would still be much tighter and we would need to keep a very close eye on it because obviously we need to make sure that we will make the payments and not default on any. So we have to be very flexible with that. It will keep Brad and I at the very least keeping a close eye on it so that if we're seeing any trends, I mean, it's going to be tighter, going to mean more sacrifices, which Antrim County often has not had to make because it's been in such a good financial position. But I would not at this point feel the need to say that we have cut position.
Okay. Also too, because I know we're doing 25, let's just say 25 years. And we don't have the numbers in front of us. I mean, I'm just saying like a 24 or a 23. I mean, is that even an option? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is it?
They're very typically 5-year increments. You might be able to write something, but they're 5-year is what they do.
Okay. All right, just so, I mean, so the audience knows really that, like I said, 30-year, the interest rate is $22 million. For a 25-year, the interest rate is 17 million. So I mean, it's a difference of basically what 5 million.
And hopefully it'll be less than that if we.
Right, but just to get to that too, I mean, I would love to, let's say it's a 25-year, I would love to pay this off in 21, 22, 23. Is that realistic? Is it really realistic? I mean, that, that we can do, that we'll do that we will actually, any additional monies that we have, that we will pay down the debt of this public safety center.
Well, it actually goes into a fund and then in 10 years, there's a call out, they call it.
Okay,
And you can take that money at that time and say, okay, we want to put a round number, we want to put $3 million on this. And they'll redo the interest rate and they'll redo the loan on that call out. And yes, there is a possibility if the economy stays good and we continue in the track that we're at, yes, we'll be able to put some money away. To be able to do that, might only be $300,000 or $400,000 a year, but 10 years, that's $3 or $4 million to pay it down.
right.
And that's what we look at budget time. That's our job, so.
I mean, is there anything, I understand that we have that ability. Is there anything we could do today to make that actually a reality that in the future?
Can't restrain that into the next board. No.
I'm just. Great question, though. Yeah, because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about this here and it sounds fantastic because I would, like I said, I'd love nothing more than to pay this off early and not pay as much interest on this facility and, you know, be financially, fiscally responsible to the county and the taxpayer. So. That's my comment.
Thanks. Other comment, any other comments, Jason?
No, I'm good. I've said my piece. Thank you.
All right, Terry,
I'm good.
Sheriff, anything else?
Yeah, I guess. The only way that I've. It sounds good to put money into an account, but there's no reason they couldn't take it out of an account, future boards. The only way to save the interest rate, the interest money. Is to force the government to live within its means, and that's why I'm at 20 years. I'm good.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Couple of final comments from myself. That just somewhat respond to some folks who made some comments during public comment. I do not believe this decision has been rushed. I believe that it's been talked about thoroughly for years. I think, Bill, from Moline Township, I think we've taken a good look at this. I really honestly believe that. I agree with former Sheriff Bean that this needs to be done. And the words that were used by Tristan Cole, kicking the can down the road, I've said out loud, this is not, anything I'm saying tonight is not a shocker to anybody who's talked to me. Because I've been committed to not kicking the can down the road on this project any longer than it already has been. Those are my final comments. One last time, Ray, any other comments?
Yeah, I mean, although I'm pleased that there's a motion to, from a 30 to a 25 year. It's still, like I said, it's still a lot of interest on this loan. So I'm kind of torn.
Understood.
Oh, one more question too. I mean, if there's no, penalty to pay this loan off early.
Brad, you want to address that?
So the payments are set, so there's another party that you would have to follow this payment schedule. However, with putting the money into a separate fund, the interest builds up there. Currently, our bank interest is around what this interest rate listed is, so I mean, it kind of washes, so the interest in that fund would build at the same rate. So, I mean, even though we're not paying it off early, we're earning interest on what's in our bank. It's kind of offsetting. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're saying it's.
Yeah, so,
25.
yeah, but, and that was Terry's point, there's always a call option at the halfway point. So and we can possibly see if it's 10 years or if it's 15 or if it's the 12. But what ends up happening is we have the option to buy back the current set of bonds that we have and reissue something, and we can pay off an additional amount at that time. So like that's what Meadowbrook did. They had a bond from 90, I think, and then right before I got in, they refunded those. They bought back. They put in an extra like $2 million or so, and they issued 2 million less. So you could prepay, if you want to call it that, at that time. So anything that we have in that fund that builds up at that 50% of the halfway term, we could put towards a reissue.
Okay, and does that lower the payment then after if that?
Yeah,
takes
that could, yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, we have a motion, we have a motion in second. Vicky, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubin,
No.
Commissioner Stola,
No.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Yes.
Commissioner Heck.
Yes. Motion passes 3-2. Correct, Vicky?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for all the discussion tonight, the public and the board. Now, moving on to new business claims and accounts. Can I get a motion?
Hold on.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion for claims and accounts of $337,297.92.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? I need a roll call on that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Board committee assignments included in our packet. Do I need a motion to approve those assignments from the board, full board?
Yes.
Thank you. I got a motion to approve those assignments from the board.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Make the motion first.
that's all right. If you go ahead, no, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, Mr. Scola on Northwest Michigan Community Action, and I'm on Northern Michigan Counties. I'm wondering if we switched those, it would probably save each of us almost an hour drive time,
Okay.
plus mileage for the county. If you're good with that.
Thank you very, Ray, you're fine with that? What was that? Okay. Yeah, yeah. You got that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Jeremy, you got that?
Say it one more time, the switching. Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency and Northern Michigan Counties Association. Okay. I'm on the west side of the county, he's on the east side of the county. Yep.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion's been made.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
I will point out as well, folks, is, for example, Ray, as you'll see, Area Agency on Aging is the same. Okay, I don't expect you're gonna be making the area agency. I know next year, when we're discussing procedures, Jeremy's gonna remind whoever the chairperson is, that we may need to make some changes to our procedures in terms of who is appointed to what. So, thank you very much. Yep, Materials Management Planning Committee appointments. Jeremy's included the memo. Jeremy, you want to make some comments about that? Or is there any comments in regards to that?
Do I have any?
Yeah, yes.
Just that we can nearly fill the required 11 member, in order to get things moving. We do want to just go ahead and appoint who has applied and seek out that last position, continue to seek out that last position.
All right, I'll get started here. I'll get started here on these unless there's any questions before I get started. All right, I'm gonna start. Looking for a motion to appoint Andre Group, and I'm gonna murder some of these names. Okay, Grabowski, to fill the 5-year term expiring December 31, 2029 as representative operator of solid waste disposal facility on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee. Can I have a
So moved.
support? We move to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to appoint Melissa Zelnick to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as representative of hauler of managed material on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Can I
Anyone?
stop? just a
Absolutely.
second? I will vote yes because we got there, but what is she a hauler of? It's a representative of a hauler of managed material.
Because they take care of recycling for us.
Oh,
So
so
that's
it's because
qualifies.
she's on the ACD board.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm okay. Move on.
Thanks, Terry. Okay, looking for a motion to appoint Mark Bevelheimer, thank you, to fill the 5-year term expiring December 31, 2029 as Materials Recovery Facility Operator on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Move to second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Looking for a motion to appoint Mark Ty Slenko to fill the 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as representative operator composting facility or anaerobic digester on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
Big word.
Ooh, I'm not sure what that
Make
is.
that motion.
Thank you.
You got it.
I'll support.
Okay, move to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
All opposed. And for a motion to appoint Lindsay Mason to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as representative of an environmental interest group that has members residing in the Antrim County and the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee. Have a motion.
I'll do.
Yes, I'll support.
Thank you. Moved to second and discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. For a motion to appoint Chris Winesapple to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as an elected official of the township on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
I'll make that motion. I'll support
All right, move to second, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? For a motion to appoint Michelle Fox to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as elected official of the village on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second.
Sure, I'll support.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Looking for a motion to appoint Austin Rolander to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as representative of business that generates the managed material on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second.
Yep.
Thank you, Terry. Move to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed?
Yes.
Looking for a motion to appoint Janie McNabb to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as a representative of the Regional Planning Agency whose territory includes Antrim County on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Jairus. Move to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Looking for a motion to appoint Bill Heffern to fill a 5-year term expiring on December 31, 2029 as an elected official of the county on the Antrim County Materials Management Planning Committee.
So moved. I'll support.
Okay, it's moving second. The only discussion is Bill Heffern's happy to have somebody else do it if they'd like to, but I didn't think he would. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed?
You can have it.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, Sheriff's still with us. We are moving to agenda item Great Lakes Energy Easement Agreement. The suggested motion is to authorize the chair to execute the Great Lakes Energy Easement to extend power to the Orchard Hill Tower site.
Make that motion.
Is there a second to that motion? Thank you. It's moved by Terry, seconded by Jairus. Do we need to hear, anyone want to hear from the sheriff?
Just gotta get power to the
Okay.
power, the thing.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next on our agenda. Agenda item authorization to submit DRRG application. Suggested motion to authorize drain commissioner to submit an application to Eagles Dams Risk Reduction Grant Program for funding related to fixing the deficiencies at the Bel Air Dam.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Thank you. It's moved and supported. Anyone wish to hear from the drain commissioner or operator dams for that matter? Okay, any other discussion? Okay, it's been moved. and seconded. Yep, so
Brad, where are we at in our fund balance for this
There's
dam
about
reserve fund?
700,000 in that reserve, right around there.
Minus 50 that we just.
Yeah, yeah,
submitted to
yeah,
for
so there's-
last year's grant.
Yeah, so there's probably about 650 left.
And this 450 comes from there.
good. Anything else? Okay, it's moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you, Liz.
This is the 90 applicants. Went into the pre-application.
There were 90 applicants for the pre-application, and 45 went through. I do expect to probably receive at least some of the funding, so I'm pretty excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to, agenda item, fiduciary grant billing, PLPA 2025 activities. Suggested motion is to approve an Antrim County Service fiduciary in 2025 on behalf of the Torch Lake Protection Alliance and authorize the chair to execute an agreement with the United States Geological Survey, Upper Midwest Water Science Center, United States Department of the Interior for water resource investigations at no cost to Antrim County, and authorize the finance director to make the appropriate budget amendments. Activity on each work segment will not begin until funds equal to or exceeding the upcoming work segment are on deposit with the county.
I'll make that motion. I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Hello. How are you? Hi. Would you please introduce yourselves to the board?
My name is Tom Joseph.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm on the board for the Torch Lake Protection Alliance, and I'm the project manager of the USGS project to study Torch Lake and the surrounding waters. This is our third year now, and I'd like to start by thanking all of you on the board for your support over the years. And I know that it is mostly an administrative task, but the fact that you have acted as our fiduciary over these years, we saved a great deal of money to ensure that this project can continue. If you look at the details within that packet, this year alone is almost $50,000 that were granted in joint funding or sharing programs because you are acting as our fiduciary. And the process has worked very well. I think that unless I have not heard from anybody else, we always come ahead with the funds. In fact, I brought a check tonight, the full amount of $155,298, which will be, once we agree with you, be our kickoff to start USGS work for the 2025 season. And we have a lot of work to do this year. And we are very hopeful that throughout this work, we're going to get a better understanding of the Torch Lake system as well as the surrounding watershed so that we can better monitor it for the future and address some of the concerns that we've identified today. It seems like a lot of money and a lot of work. Last year alone, we submitted over 1,200 samples for analysis to different laboratories. It's very detailed, tedious work. And then when they're finished, then we do a lot of statistical analysis of the data. But it's the best way that we know how to get a handle on what's going on in the lake. It's a very large, complex watershed that is a very large lake, and we don't want to see it degrade in the future. We've already seen changes in the last 25 years that we don't fully understand and we don't like. So we want to make sure that we do this rest of this project. And we're very positive on it. We've got a lot of support locally and regionally and nationally in our studies. And every year we reach out, every year we get more support from the greater science community. So again, we want to thank all of you in our endeavor and support. And if there's someone that would like to accept this check tonight.
Don't go shopping.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's any questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks again.
Great job.
Thank you.
Is there anything you can update us on what is that, brown, green algae or whatever they call it?
Well, it's called golden brown algae, and
That's it.
yeah, we've learned that technically it's not golden brown algae, but we've been using that terminology for years, so that's what everybody goes by it. And I think that we have a much better understanding of how it forms. We have a much better understanding of how it responds to nutrient changes. The key nutrients are phosphorus and nitrogen. What we don't understand yet is the mechanism of why it continues to proliferate and grow to the point where we could stop it or correct it or change its course. And we may never be able to change it, but at least we know a lot more today of how it started, what chain of events have occurred that got it to where it is today. And this year, everything will come together. The work that the Three Lakes Association is heading up with Dr. Stevenson on the very basic biological characteristic studies of the algae itself is ongoing. They're working hand in hand with our USGS team, which is being ran by the Torch Lake Protection Alliance with support from the Torch Conservation Center. So as we collect samples and analyze them, and Dr. Stevenson collects the algae samples and analyze them, we get back together and compare notes. So we can see what external factors or what internal factors are bringing these things together. So why the algae is forming and why it changes over the years. The key ingredients that have not been collected prior to last year, atmospheric deposition, fancy word for what comes out of the sky in the rain and snow, and groundwaters. Now, there was groundwater studies that were done 20 years ago, but that is no longer as applicable as it is today. So we've expanded on that study greatly. We've got 12 wells that we've monitored 3 times last year, and we'll do it 4 times in 2025. And we will understand what is coming from the ground into the lake. United States Geological Survey has a mathematical model that was built years ago of the entire Antrim County watershed. And they have a very good understanding of what happens with the groundwater. We're coupling that with very detailed analysis of the samples that's in the groundwater to predict what happens over time and how it impacts the algae growth. So there may not be fireworks or anything else, but we have a very, very good feeling. We're putting together the task force team that will get together this year on May 30th. We call it our adaptive management meeting. And we'll have 50-some scientists there for the entire day. We lock them up from 9 o'clock to 4, all right? And we'll go through data, we'll share information, we'll discuss hypotheses, and from there we'll modify what other work we'll do the rest of the year. But we're very hopeful that we're going to be able to give people a layman term explanation in the very near term of what's been going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Again, thank you for, yes, thank you for everything. True, public-private partnership, and how often do we get people to show up with checks? So thank you very much. You're very welcome. Got a motion? Did I get a motion? Did I get a motion? Did I get a motion, Vicky?
I don't know, I got motion and second, but I don't
Thank
know
you.
who did it.
Made the motion.
Terry made the motion.
Okay.
Jason will take the second.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, Vicky. Moving on, agenda item, GRNA, Boardwalk Phase 3 contract approval. Suggested motion is to accept the bids from both Richter Construction and Whitcraft Boardwalks for the GRNA Boardwalk Phase 3 and authorize the chair to execute agreements with each vendor.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Terry, supported by Jason. Anyone wish to hear from Jen Wright? Okay, any further discussion?
You're good.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much, Jen. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Yep.
Keep it up.
Yeah. I'm not used to going through
I know.
paper like that.
You can use mine if you want.
Thank you. All right, next agenda. Item, authorized signers Forefront Credit Union suggested motion to approve the following changes to the authorized signers on the Forefront Credit Card account. Add Bradley Rizzo, Finance Director, add Jeremy Scott, County Administrator, add Shelley Dennis, Accounts Payable, Payroll Clerk, remove Cheryl Guy, former clerk, remove Connie Wing, former Deputy Clerk. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Been moved and seconded. Anyone want to hear from Brad on that, or are we clear? Any discussion?
Pretty straight up.
All those, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? very similar, applicable to Alden State Bank, suggested motion to approve the following changes to the authorized signers of the Alden State Bank credit card account. Add Bradley Rizzo, Finance Director, add Jeremy Scott, County Administrator, add Shelley Dennis, Accounts Payable, Payroll Clerk. Remove Cheryl Guy, former County Clerk, remove Connie Wing, former Deputy Clerk. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make it.
Thanks, Jason.
I'll support.
Moved by Jason, seconded by Jairus. Anyone want to hear from Brad on that one?
Nope.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Discussions out of there, that gets us down to reports. We have no appointments or annual reports, so down to the county administrator's report. Any questions for Jeremy?
Elevator's moving along nicely.
Yes.
When will it be done, you think?
Well, it's scheduled for 3 weeks. They are moving along nicely. We're fingers crossed, hopefully before the 3 weeks, because we don't want to.
Drag it out, yeah.
Be done before our next board meeting.
Yes.
Sure. I'm sorry.
That's a cool.
Okay. Sure.
Number 2, 911. Just wondered, is that new tower functioning now? Or where are we?
No, exactly. You guys just approved getting power to it. It is a little rigged up at the moment to make it, to get lights flashing on just so that it satisfies FAA, but, that'll get the ball moving so that everything, but otherwise, they were all in place. They just need to be powered.
They were talking about running temporary power to it until we could get, and I didn't know if
That is a possibility to run
But they still have to
extension
do
cord
that.
to some power. It's not an ideal situation, but you know, the firefighters, especially in Central Lake, are still really struggling. So whatever it takes to get this going, we will do.
All right, any other questions for Jeremy? Yeah, Terry.
How's the thing in, the, having Matt up there to Central Lake going? Have you had any information that?
Not specifically, no. The last I spoke to him, it was going well, but again, it was just meant to be a temporary.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I got.
Anything else? Right? Oh, good. Okay. Moving on, building department updates included. Any questions on that? Commission on Aging, update. Anything on that? I hope we'll soon meet, if we already haven't individually met, the new COA director.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come at the February date.
Airport. Questions on the airport? Brandon, Veterans Affairs, anything for Brandon? Animal control? Animal control? There's services from Matthew also. Question, Matthew. Okay, Brad. You're up.
Yeah. So as stated there, still getting everybody onboarded with Laserfish. The year-end budget amendment, it follows. So, yep, those were the pieces put in for the end. In the yellow highlights after each one of those entries are the purposes for them. Next meeting, I'll be able to provide the 2025 half of those. There's still, as the prior years, there are several projects that are in process. When I prepared this, we didn't have the December invoices to get the true amount to roll forward, so. Yeah.
Any questions for Brad?
He's done.
Any questions for Brad? Okay. Over chairman's report, I just, again, I didn't do this last time, but again, I appreciate your patience as I get up to speed here. Being the chairperson for 2025. And I just want to again reiterate that I do appreciate, I know a lot of people left already, but I do appreciate the comments, public comments, participation tonight in regards to this public safety center. I appreciate the thoughtful discussion the board had, regardless of what side of the, regardless which side of the issue we were on. Any other final comments, Jason?
Good.
Terry? Ray? Sheriff? Okay. Any other public? Yes, sir.
Waiting for the last minute, sorry about that. It occurs to me, thank you for supporting the safety center. I do as well.
Your name, only if you'd like to,
My name is Tim Timmer. I'm an Echo Township
Thank you.
resident.
Thank you.
And a couple of questions though made me curious with the offset of the earnings that we're making on the reserve accounts for purpose of making a payment. Probably yielding 4.5, kind of neutralizing that cost. It doesn't make it go away, but it eases the burden on it. So I wonder about that, if that was presented in the analytics. I personally think the voters whiffed on the millage approval by not looking at the next page, but that's my personal opinion. But I wonder if a lower request at the intervals that we could pay down that more rapidly might be appropriate for the board to suggest, so that we can come back with a millage for purpose of debt reduction. Alternatively, I wonder, in hearing Jeremy's comments about the budget, if it wouldn't be apropos to ask for a millage to retire Meadowbrook's debt and just take a different tack on it. Knocking that out of the budget, I think would free up some cash flow resources for the county. So those are my thoughts and comments. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? That's Sherry.
With the great big check.
I'm Sherry Camben, I'm your Antrim County Treasurer, and I want to address two comments that were made earlier at public comment. And if Commissioner Scola, you would take back to Echo Township that the Meadowbrook debt is paid by Meadowbrook millage. It is not paid by the general fund. And the second comment is, we do not have a second set of books. We have one set of books and only one. If you have any questions regarding Meadowbrook, you can contact either Brad or I. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Hello, Sheriff.
Good evening, Kevin Hoke, Sheriff, Antrim County. You guys all did a great job. We're moving forward. Thank you. In reference to the Public Safety Center, I know it was a very, very tough decision for all you guys. And I know the sheriff's office, we appreciate you guys. But did you guys happen to see the new vehicle that was sitting out front with the front bumper? I had it sitting there for you guys to look at, so.
It's back in to the
Yes,
building.
that is it, yes.
I really quickly, I didn't get a good chance to look. It looks nice from the front, so.
That's the style we're going with, and that's the bumper guards that we're doing. You could just about those things are built like a tank now, those bumper guards. So you're gonna be able to go to a merchant call, and if one of my officers hit a deer, they're gonna continue. So which I think is fantastic. Again, nice job tonight. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kevin. Have a good night. Anyone else tonight? Thank you for all joining us. That being the end of it, we're adjourned by order of the chair.
Good job, everybody.